now, and it's giving all this great information, how to use a natural antibiotic. By the way, they still use silver drops in a baby's eyes, in a newborn baby's eyes, so that they don't get an infection. So they still use it, but they will not use it in there as an antibiotic because it's not a drug. And they're nuts. So anyway, colloidal silver water used in a newborn baby's eyes. Silver salve is in every burn ward in the world. They know that no virus, fungus, bacteria can live in the presence of silver. So it's not totally ignored, but just where it comes to eradicating horrible viruses and so forth, they'd rather shoot mercury into you and kill you and reach their depopulation agenda. Now, below that information about the colloidal silver water is something called CVF Be Gone. Well, this used to be a cold virus flu formula, but we couldn't say that anymore. So they changed the name of that. Guess what? They don't like that either. Now that it's CVF Be Gone, says nothing, doesn't call itself a drug or anything, doesn't call itself a remedy, just calls itself CVF Be Gone. Guess what? FDA says that's unacceptable. So that's why these people are going to go out of business, because they're hounded. They're hounded and threatened with huge fines if they don't do everything that the Gestapo Nazi FDA says they should do. Now, in this CVF Be Gone, this is an extraordinary cold virus flu natural remedy that, if you didn't have a generator, would still get rid of nasty colds, flus, and viruses. You take 10 to 20 drops or more, three times a day, as soon as you have flu-like symptoms, or at the beginning of a cold flu season. You take 10 to 20 drops or more 3 times a day. This will keep it off, so you won't even come up with, you won't come down with it. And you drink lots of fluids and eat fruits and vegetables, for a few days if you are starting to come down with it, so that you're just, you're giving your body a break. You're not eating any heavy meals, and you're eating light, so you're avoiding heavy meals, and then as soon as you get over it, you still want to, not eat any heavy meals, because it could bring back the symptoms. Very often, people will get over the flu and sit down and have a big meal, and bam, they get sick again. It's just too much for their body to take on. So you shake well to use this. You store it in a cool, dark place, and one of the foods that's in it is garlic, which is an amazing superfood that can kill off lots of bacterial and viral and fungal infections. So we're using God's medicine instead of man's poison chemical drugs. And now, quite simply, it helps safely remove all of those little critters that are attacking you, that are destroying your digestive system, while boosting your immune system. So that, and taking extra garlic, garlic capsules, and eating lots of garlic, and taking the colloidal silver water, that will make it so that's how I'm able to work, even if I come down with a flu. I don't go to bed. I don't rest. I keep working. I'm able to, because I'm taking colloidal silver water and taking tablespoons of CVF Be Gone to really boost up my immune system and fight off anything in my body that would dare attack it. And that works fantastic. Another thing that I use all the time is the Japanese mushrooms, such as shiitake, maitake, and reishi. And when you do the research on those mushrooms, by the way, you can order my book. My book, where is it? Which is herbal descriptions, and it describes these herbs so you know why and how shiitake and maitake and reishi mushrooms work as great immunity boosters. And they're loaded with ergothioneine, which is a powerful antioxidant. And as you read on into the descriptions of these herbs in that herb book, you'll see that they are anti-tumor, anti-cancer. So talk about the powerful mushrooms. And it's this is incredible how to make these. It's totally different than other herbal formulations. Making these 3 mushrooms, I make it in apple cider vinegar. And here is the other secret when I'm making these mushrooms. When I'm making these mushrooms, I'm boiling them first, because that's the secret. And I don't normally boil things. I boil bark, but you need to also boil mushrooms. And you unlock all of these super elements, natural chemicals that nature made that are anti-tumor, anti-cancer, and so forth. They're unlocked with a mild boiling of the water, and then you take that, and the water you're using is, of course, structured water, so you really get a rich and positive polarity batch of shiitake, maitake, and reishi mushrooms. Then I take that and I use apple cider vinegar with all the enzymes in it, which is also great for arthritis and pain and suffering, and all kinds of different things. Apple cider vinegar. This is raw, organic apple cider vinegar, and that then unlocks everything and provides all the enzymes for this tincture to go to work. So what I do with it is I take that apple cider vinegar mushroom extract and I chop up some jalapeno peppers and I cover them, and of course they're organic, and I cover them with this 3 mushroom tincture. And when I do that, then whenever I'm having some salad, before I want to spice up any dish, maybe I want to put a tablespoon of it in my chicken soup when I have a bowl of it, and a big tablespoon of garlic in my chicken soup. Now you're talking about chicken soup, and you're talking about the super 3 mushroom extract that is made with the apple cider vinegar. You can start expecting some extraordinary things that are going to start to happen with the body when you do these kinds of things to the body. So that's why I'm using it, and that's how I use the 3 mushroom tincture. I always have it in my refrigerator. I put a little splash here, put a splash there, livens up the food, and that's how I get my 3 mushroom tincture into my body. Now, the other thing that's listed here is ginger, because and I'm always sprinkling ginger on different things that I'm making, whether it's rice or whatever it is that I'm making. And ginger warms the body, and it helps to break down the accumulation of toxins in the organs, particularly in the lungs and in the sinuses. Ginger helps to cleanse the lymphatic system, which is our body's sewage system. And by opening up these lymphatic channels and keeping things clean, ginger prevents the accumulation of toxins and that make you susceptible to infections, and especially the respiratory system. So there's a link to ginger extract, or just you can get ginger powder. That's a good thing to put into different things for that reason. Then it goes on to list a whole bunch of different wonderful things. There's the acidophilus powder that you're going to need to take every time after you take it for at least 2 weeks, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon after you've used the colloidal silver water. You always get this wonderful acidophilus powder, which I take 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon every single morning with my Intramax. Now, there's another thing I take every single morning, and that's colostrum powder, because colostrum stimulates the immune system with the same factors that your mother's milk, just before mother's milk came into the breast, the colostrum comes into the breast, and that's the first thing that baby gets. So that increases the immune system. So I'm taking those two things, the acidophilus, the colostrum, the Intramax. I take all those the first thing in the morning. And that's all I've had so far today. I had a banana and a pear. And I think I'm going to take another bite of my pear. Good pear. Okay. It goes on to list here a few other things like oregano oil, and its value. It talks more about garlic. It talks about the kombucha mushroom. But that is the report on the making lifestyle changes. And it goes on. It goes on to telling you about how to cleanse and detoxify. It talks about milk thistle extract and my pear and the CAC liquid. It talks about how to detoxify and clean out the bloodstream and clean up the liver. And it talks about a fiber that is a fiber special that so that you're cleansing and detoxifying, and it's making every bowel movement so soft it breaks up in a cloud, because that's the way they're supposed to be. When you flush the toilet, it should break up in a cloud. You use enough of this CAC liquid to clean out the liver and make the bowel movement soft. And the good thing about this, it's not habit forming. Most things that clean out the bowel are habit forming. This is so well blended and so balanced that over a period of time, it takes less and less of it to cleanse and detoxify you. So after a while, you say, I just don't need it anymore. And but that's it. That's a CAC liquid, and you're adding 1 to 3 tablespoons to a glass of water or juice in the morning or evenings, and you increase it as necessary. You refrigerate it after it's open and keep it in the fridge, and then you're using a couple of tablespoons. 32, and there's 32 servings in a 16-ounce so there's 2 tablespoons and approximately 32 servings in 16 ounces and approximately 64 servings in 32 ounces. And then fiber, number 4835, well, it tells you here to take a half a teaspoon or more, increase it till you got a balance of not being too cleaned out too fast, but the bowel movements are always soft, and the fiber is absorbing all these things, and you won't get a headache. And it's going to act as a broom, and it'll sweep out the digestive tract. So that's how you do a digestive tract tune-up, is with that CAC liquid and that special fiber number 4835. They're all listed in this make lifestyle changes. And then it's talking about, the foods and vegetables and so forth. And it goes on to talk about a gland rejuvenator. If you need more helps with the glandular system, there's actually a formula called gland rejuvenator. So it's an option. These are things where you've got all of this extra support to deal with things that aren't normally dealt with. But what happens is if you needed eye support, there's an eye support formula. There's talking about how to improve your vision with lutein esters and carrots and wild carrot seeds and so forth. And so that's kind of the kind of information that's in this Make Lifestyle Changes. It talks about lutein and zeaxanthin for the eyes. Talks about any side effects from lutein. It talks about how to lower cholesterol. It talks about how to get healthier skin, reduce a heart attack risk. It talks about relieving a cough, how to deal with that in this Make Lifestyles report. It talks about how to have stronger bones, hair, nails, as a strengthener, both from the herbs and from the MSM, and things like Google. Google comes from the resin of Google tree's bark, and people in India have been using 1,000 years as an herbal remedy. And Google, G-U-G-G-U-L, may work as an antioxidant or anti-inflammatory, or in some other way. It's kind of works mysteriously. But anyway, that there's an article all about Google right there, so you can read up on it, and it's listed there. There's also something for anemia. The anemia herbal formula, the flaxseed oils and essential omega-3s and jojoba oil, and it talks about an immunity booster and cancer fighter, and one of the herbs that's in the CF, which used to be called a cancer formula or can-free. We're going through so many names trying to please the FDA, but there's no way to please a Nazi.